So one of the things that we have here as kind of a added bonus to this subdivision thing that I live in is this big old garage shed, which no one has ever used as far as I can tell. And last year, there's a guy up here cutting grass, and he ran into one of the posts and it broke, and you see there's a little dip in the roof. I did a kind of a temporary patch job on fixing that, but it wasn't a very good one. But I've been thinking about building a garage on my building down there to put the rat rod and the Jeep and things like that. And I thought, well, heck fire, why don't I just use this? It take a little work to straighten it up, but I came in here the other day, see how that grass is over there? Well, this whole field was like that. And I've got a nice lawnmower that I bought up in Maine. It was an old farm up there, and some people who had made some money in the internet business came up and bought the farm and turned it into they built and opened a brewery on it called Pour Farm. The guy that runs it, Bill, awful nice guy, and he made it known that he was going to sell this tractor, and I ran over there quick as I could get there with cash in hand and bought it before anybody else. And by the time I got there, he said he'd already had all kind of people that wanted it, but nobody had showed up with cash like I did. So I brought it down here, and man, it does. It's a heavy little mother, and it does a heck of a job of cutting the grass here. So I'm gonna cut all this grass here again, and I'm gonna cut grass inside of here because there's places inside of here where grass is growing. And then I'm gonna look at what it would take to turn this into a more secure facility. And we'll kind of go from there. I'm starting with cutting the grass. I figured that's a good place to start from. So I'll just set y'all aside here for now. I'll come back in a little bit after I've cut some grass, and we can see what the field looks like then. Old John Deere is really proven to be quite the monster. I had a section over here where pine trees and maple trees and cedar trees had all grown up behind the building. This thing just plowed right over them. Trees that were 5 feet high or more. Well, like you see the one standing there, I was running over trees like that, like they were grass. Anyway, I've lowered my blade and I'm cutting this field again. I had originally cut it one time with the blade all the way up, and it was as long as that hay that you see standing up there. I'm not exactly sure how far our property goes here. I'm going to look on the map and find out. This is our well house over here, and the water pump for the whole subdivision is inside of that. I thought I'd set the camera up and let y'all watch me cut the rest of this. What I'm doing is I cut it with the mower deck as high as it would go once, and then I lowered it down a little lower, and I'm cutting it again. Looking pretty good. And I've also been cutting in between each one of these posts. Another thing I'm going to have to take up is if you look at the roof line, you can see a couple of places where the roof line has sagged. And these joists, when they were put in, these posts, when they were put in, didn't have gravel under them, so they're rotting in the middle. And I'm going to have to think of a way to re-support. You know, there's too much lumber, and with the cost of lumber nowadays, and tin, and gravel, all this is graveled in here. That's just too much of an investment to let go to waste. So I'm gonna figure out how to save it all, and I'm gonna use it. Right now I'll just sit y'all down and let y'all watch me cut the rest of this little bit. Feels like it's just starting to rain, but I can live with that. Put you right here. Well, maybe that's not the best place. I don't know if there is a best place. Maybe I'll sit you right here where the grass ain't quite so tall. And I'll just get with it. bit of a hint of what this thing can do. This is a GT 275. I don't even know how many horsepower this thing has. This is a John Deere 17 horsepower. Now, it's my understanding that after a certain time or before a certain time, the John Deere mowers were made by John Deere, and then later they were made by other companies. And the early ones are reported to be better than the later ones. This is on here because my neighbor leaned on the hood the other day and broke it. My neighbor that brought this down, and I'm gonna get some fiberglass and fiberglass over that. I want to get some resin to go on it too. So I've got this trailer here, and this trailer is one that I only really bought this trailer because it had a boat sitting on it that I wanted, a little tin boat. And I've got some insulation on it and some tin. And I thought, well, rather than having that sitting down at my place, making it an eyesore, I just put it in here. I got another boat trailer that I use with my other boat. And I've got that nice aluminum trailer. I don't know if I'd risk it down here or not, but I might. But I also got some chain link fence that I could put around these edges, because it wouldn't be too hard to kick this fence off of here as it sits. I'm going to study on what it would take to make this more secure, and I'm thinking just for now, I could run a chain like from these posts to the inside around the frame of this thing, and that would make it pretty secure. But we'll study on all this and see what we think and all, and take it from there. Hold the joy.